And that was the start. That was the start of introducing it. We said we were committed in our strategic plan. We said that now we're going to have this impetus of the grant funding behind us. And what was Stevens going to provide? They were going to provide teacher training for us. Now that will lead to how we then set ourselves up to be able to work and partner on GIS, because guess what? When I said STEM to teachers, and the research says this, my teachers were saying, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I was never trained to be a science teacher. So what we did, and I will tell you, and when you think of this, when we brought in Stevens, we had someone that was really an excellent teacher. And what he did was the first thing he said, he had all different teachers. I just invited them. I said, come on, if you're interested in wanting to know about STEM, just come to a workshop to see about it, you know, just non-threatening. And the trainer came in with all these helium balloons. And that, our teachers, all right, what are we going to be doing? Balloons, you're thinking of a party, right? And what he said, broke them up in groups, and he said, I'd like you to work in your group. And he had a little paper cup that he hung on the helium balloon. And he said, I'd like you to work in groups and put as many little pieces of paper that you can put in that little cup that was strung to the helium balloon, and see till eventually so that you can make it stay steady. So the teachers are working, putting their little papers, the little paper clips in there. They're excited now. I'm listening because I'm there. They're excited about trying to level off their helium balloon. I hear, I got it, all right? A little bit of enthusiasm. I don't hear I'm afraid right now. Then he said, what I want you to do is I'm going to shut the lights off. I'm going to shut the door, and I don't want you to talk, and I want you to see, do you need the same amount of paper clips and little pieces of paper in that cup as you did? And guess what? They started to have to take out those little pieces of paper and paper clips, and what they realized, he said, guess what? That's part of math. That's part of science of what you're doing right now. And so the teachers left that day saying, you know what, Dr. DeFranco? I can do this. That's what I wanted to achieve. I didn't want them to be afraid. So we brought training in, many things, many experiments to show them from a K through 8 level that they can do this. And that was the first step. When GIS project, which we'll talk about, came along, that it was a natural, because we had been doing that within that year. We had started to work on STEM activities that made it very comfortable for our teachers to then move into the next segment. So, as a little piece, a summary, the nation's going that way. It's a 21st skill. We need to have kids right from the kindergarten not be afraid of it. To hear remarks that parents call me and say, Dr. DeFranco, guess what? My daughter or my son didn't want to miss school today. Guess why? It was STEM day. To hear STEM day, that they're not afraid. They're not saying it's math. Oh, I don't want to enter into that. They don't want to go to school because they don't want to miss STEM. So that was key. That was that our kids starting in kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade are working on STEM projects, engineering projects, starting in kindergarten, and are not afraid of it. With that, I will pick up. You're going to talk a little bit about the GIS, and then we will talk about then how we infuse GIS as the next stage.